Alright, hey guys, Nate with Next Level Deer Supplements. We're hoping to do more videos and stuff. Scott and I are still kind of learning how to do all this technology stuff, and not that taking a video is some big thing, I guess, but for us, we're not used to documenting everything. We're not used to having a video camera in our face, and I don't know, we're not necessarily the best speakers in the world, but we try to fumble through everything. The main thing we want to do with our company is we want to be transparent, and that means we're gonna tell you what's in our products. I mean, there's no sense in hiding it. It's all good for the deer and elk too, for that matter. But you know, you go to some websites, you know, and try to look up a product. You can't even hardly find a label. You can't find an ingredient list, you know. And we just want to be transparent, you know, and be open with everybody, you know, and our customers. If you're going to spend money, you know, that you busted your butt to earn, you know, you deserve to know what you're getting for that money. There's certain ingredients that we believe in over others, and when you're looking at a product, try to see past all the marketing. You know, don't worry about a picture of a big deer on the front. Don't worry about, you know, the celebrity that's holding that deer. Don't worry about, you know, big words and flashy sayings and stuff that are all over that bag. Flip it over and find the actual guaranteed analysis and look at the ingredients. That'll help you to know exactly what you're giving your deer. There are certain products out there, I don't want to say products, there are certain ingredients that are used in products out there that don't perform as well as others. And there's one big thing that, you know, people have to decide. Are you just trying to attract deer to a certain spot to get its picture taken, or to put that deer in front of your stand, or your blind, or, you know, what exactly are you trying to accomplish? The point behind our products is to supply people with a mineral and a feed and a block that has real world nutrition in it. It's got, you know, science and experience using certain ingredients and using certain things that we know will help you grow a healthier deer herd. A bonus to that is bigger antlers. But don't be fooled by a lot of the marketing gimmicks that are out there. And there's a lot of stuff out there that there's misconceptions about. Just because somebody's using ingredients that are, you know, high in TDN, which is total digestible nutrition, is it, you know, is that a good thing? You know, because if you're digesting something that's easily digestible, but it's not necessarily the best thing for the animal, then what does it matter if it's got a high TDN? You know, or, you know, bioavailability. That's going to be another word you're probably going to start seeing a lot that are used a lot by companies and stuff in animal nutrition products and stuff, and really the deer community is really starting to use that one. What that is a percentage of the nutrition that's digestible. If a company's not using stuff that's, you know, high in bioavailability, then that's probably not a good product. If you're actually looking for a supplement, a true supplement that's going to help your deer. Just because deer, you know, eat a foot deep, 10-foot circle because, you know, they couldn't get enough of whatever was poured on the ground, does not make that a supplement. That does not mean that it's doing something good for deer. That just means that they ate it. That's what that means. Most of the time, those products are high in salt. That's a huge thing that we really pride ourselves on. Is just because it's not what a deer can eat that is important. It's what a deer can digest that is important. You know, I tell people that call me or we talk to in places, you know, it's everybody's big thing. Oh, you know, well, do the deer just hammer it? Well, they should if it's good for them, but that can be misleading too. Just because they eat something doesn't mean it's good for them. I can eat a whole bag of Doritos. That doesn't mean it's good for me. You know, I can eat a whole package of Oreos. That doesn't mean it's good for me. The same thing's for deer. Just because they eat something doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for them. You know, and a lot of homemade recipes and stuff that are out there that people claim are just as good as everything else on the market without the price tag. Yes and no. There are some products that are marketed out there that, yeah, they're nothing more than a few things mixed together, and people are very good at marketing things. So people buy it. And if you're happy with that and you think it's working great for you, more power to you. It's your money. You can do what you want to with it. But our goal is to supply true supplements, true products that will improve the health of your herd. It will improve the immunity of your herd. It will help with healthier fawns. It'll help with bigger antlers eventually. I mean, there's nothing out there that you can give a deer that is all of a sudden going to take a nothing special 8-point and turn it into a 190-inch monster. There's nothing out there that can do that. And even though people claim that their product can do that, no, it can't. Growing big deer starts before that animal's even conceived. It's about having a healthy doe that's in absolute the best shape she can be in, getting the best nutrition she can be in. She gets pregnant, and then that fawn that's growing inside of her, the fetus, and all the way through till birth, that animal that's grown inside of the doe is getting the absolute best nutrition, getting all the vitamins and all the minerals and all the fiber and the fats and the protein and everything that it can get. There's been studies that show that at birth rate, if an animal is put ahead of that curve already by receiving that kind of nutrition from the mother, that it has a healthier life cycle, that it will typically have a bigger body, that it will typically be more immune to disease. That's where big bucks start. So if you can take and have that doe on your supplements, and then she gets pregnant, and she goes through the entire process and has a fawn, and that fawn is born, and that fawn is already ahead of the curve, and then a few weeks after birth, that fawn starts on solid foods while it's still nursing, yes, and getting the absolute best milk and as much of it as it can handle from its mother, and that mother not being near as stressed out, because having the right ingredients and having the right supplements will help with lactation for that doe, so that she's going to go into the fall and into the next rut ready to produce another healthy fawn, and a lot of times 2, maybe 3 fawns. Having the correct nutrition is going to help with your birth rates. It's going to help with more, throw more doubles and more triples for your fawns. But you have that fawn and it's starting on solid foods, and then boom, it's getting the nutrition, it's getting the good supplements, so that it's packing on body mass to go into that first year, or that first winter, in the best shape as possible to survive those conditions, to be able to evade predators and disease and things like that, so that it comes into its first full year ahead of that curve, and then you start stacking those years one on another, and it keeps coming back, because by the time that deer is kicked from its mom, the supplement sites and the mineral sites and the things like that, that's just part of its world. It doesn't know any different. So it's going to come back to that high nutritional food source and utilize it also. So that by the time that deer gets to be 4.5, 5.5, you know, 3.5 to 4.5, a deer's skeletal system is fully developed. From 4.5, after that, the muscular system is fully developed. So that by 5.5, 6.5, which typically 6.5 is the absolute peak of the antler growth. That's as big as that buck's going to be. I know there are different, excuse me, I know that there are situations where that doesn't happen every time, but typically the largest set of antlers that a deer's going to have is when they are 6.5. And it's not only that. When you shoot a doe for the freezer, it's going to be a bigger doe, healthier doe, more meat. You know, your buck's body size is going to be bigger. It's crucial to provide your deer with nutrition, especially coming out of the rut. The most crucial time you can provide your deer with supplemental feed is when they are coming out of the rut, because those deer, once that testosterone drops and they shed those antlers, they are searching for food, and they have got to restore reserves in order to survive. A deer will lose, or a buck will lose, up to 30% if its overall body mass just going through the rut, because all they do is run. They ain't worried about food. They're looking for the next doe that they can breed. And until they can't find any more and that testosterone drops, they're running. There's a lot of deer that'll run themselves to death. So the most crucial time that you can provide feed and high nutritional supplement to your bucks is right after the rut. And then the only way that that deer is going to improve the next year is if it goes into the next year with its mineral deposits and its reserves in its body stocked up, ready to grow antlers again and ready to do it all over again. A few ingredients you can look at that will perform better than others, and we're not going to name any other products or anything like that. We are never going to bash another company that has products out on the market, because if that's what they believe in and their customers are happy with that stuff, fantastic. You know, I mean, it does us no good to bash other products. You know, if somebody's going to walk up to me and say, hey, what's the difference between your stuff and their stuff? You know, and I'll sit down and we'll look at the labels and we'll go over stuff. And I don't know even the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the real nuts and bolts of stuff. We rely on our nutritionists for that. And we are going to be doing a video, and I keep telling people this, and I know you're probably wondering where it's at. We are going to do a video that goes into more in depth on the science and the difference between, you know, good ingredients and some of the misconceptions out there, you know, with TDN percentage and bioavailability and things like that. And I'm not saying that stuff's not important, because it is. It's all important if you're looking for real nutrition. But there can be some misconceptions out there that, you know, people take as gospel, that it's been used as a marketing tool more than an actual real world, you know, purpose, I guess you could say. We use monocalcium phosphate. And the reason why we do that is because it performs better than dicalcium phosphate. And I'm not saying dicalcium's bad, but monocalcium is better. It just is. It's more expensive, and that's fine. We're worried about performance. We're not, you know, just because something costs more doesn't necessarily mean, oh, well, we don't want to pay for that because that's going to cut into profits. No, that's not what we're worried about. Scott and I want to give you guys products you can believe in and that are going to work. Okay, we're just normal bow hunters like anybody else. We We work 1 or 2 jobs a piece, along with trying to make this thing go with Next Level Deer supplements, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing better than when somebody uses our products and then they send us a harvest photo with a big old smile on their face. There's nothing better than that. That's why we do it. Is I want to help grow our deer herd for my dad that's never, killed a big buck. The opportunity just hasn't presented itself. Or for my kids and my grandkids to take over and they have a big healthy deer herd, and then hopefully they're believers in what we're doing, and they keep it going. I mean, they go out and they help us fill feeders, and they help us put out blocks, and they have their own cameras, and they help us do mineral sites, and we have our kids involved in everything. My wife and I, and my wife helps. She's a deer hunter, and she's gonna be getting her first crossbow this year. I know I threw a message out there on Twitter a couple days ago, and thank you guys for all the response you got. Good Lord, I have more crossbows I need to research now. But back to the ingredients. Sorry, I get off on tangent once in a while. Monocalcium phosphate. These are just some of the benefits that monocalcium phosphate has over dicalcium phosphate. Monocalcium phosphate neutralizes the harmful effects of a number of elements, including sodium, potassium, magnesium, and others. It ensures the proper function of the heart, nervous and muscular systems, as well as many other organs. It improves digestion by increasing the activity of digestive enzymes. It strengthens the immune system. It participates in the relocating of lipids, protein biosynthesis, and the cleansing of the intestine from harmful substances. It improves the efficiency of carbohydrate, protein, fat, mineral, and energy metabolism in the body. It does not contain any heavy metal impurities, does not have a destructive effect on enzymes and vitamins, nor does it block the effect of proteins and the amino acids. It contains the highest degree of digestibility, which is bioavailability. So those are just some of the